I can't believe it. BTS Taehyung has been promoted in the military, and he's now officially a sergeant. Meanwhile, Jungkook, who just finished promoting his solo album, has to watch his best friend thrive in a completely different world. Does this make Jungkook jealous? Or is there something else that makes this story even more interesting? Kim Taehyung, better known as VBTS, recently reached an important milestone in his military service journey. From an ordinary soldier, he has now been promoted to sergeant. It's a milestone that can't be taken lightly, especially considering that the military is not something that comes easily to a K-pop idol who is used to living under the spotlight. As a sergeant, Taehyung now has much more responsibility than when he first entered the military. If previously he only followed orders, now he is starting to take on leadership duties. Sergeants in the South Korean military are tasked with mentoring new soldiers, maintaining discipline, and ensuring that each team member can work well in various situations, including during heavy combat training. This promotion can be considered as clear evidence that Taehyung is not only serving out of obligation, but also showing extraordinary dedication. Since the beginning, he has been known as a determined figure who always tries to give his best in every field he is involved in. From music, acting, and now the military, he continues to prove that he can adapt and thrive in a completely different environment. But interestingly, while Taehyung is thriving in the military, Jungkook is in a different phase. As the last member of BTS to enter the military, Jungkook is still living the life of a military trainee, where he has to learn the basics of discipline and survive in extreme conditions. As you can imagine, they used to stand on the same stage, but now their paths are completely contrasting. The question is, does Jungkook feel jealous seeing his best friend who has been promoted first? Well, envy in a negative sense probably not, because we know Jungkook always supports his friends. But on the other hand, seeing Taehyung already successful in the military must have put pressure on Jungkook. Moreover, as the youngest member of BTS, he has always been known as a perfectionist and competitive. For Jungkook, maybe it's not just about rank, but more about how he wants to prove that he can also adapt and thrive in a military environment. We know that he is someone who always wants to do everything well, whether it's in music or in everyday life. So, seeing Taehyung get promoted first could be an encouragement for him, not just a reason to be jealous. But on the other hand, Taehyung's promotion also proves that their WOML journeys cannot be compared to each other. Everyone has their own path, and perhaps now is Taehyung's time to shine in the military, while Jungkook is just starting his journey. In addition, this promotion also makes fans even more eager to see what kind of changes will happen when Taehyung returns from the military. Will this affect his personality? Will he bring the military spirit into BTS later? It's all a mystery, but one thing's for sure: Taehyung's journey in the military so far has been nothing short of amazing. However, if we look deeper, there is another interesting thing about Taehyung's promotion that many people may not realize. This is not just about rank or status in the military, but more about how a world-class idol like Taehyung is able to adjust to a life that is completely different from what he is used to. From someone who is used to living with a busy schedule in the entertainment industry, now he has to live a disciplined military life, without the luxury and without the usual camera spotlight that accompanies him. This proves that Taehyung has a strong character. You could say, this is another form of an idol's struggle that is rarely exposed to the public. If we usually see idols surviving the pressure of the competitive music industry, now we see how they survive the completely different pressure of the military. And interestingly, Taehyung is not only surviving, he is thriving, even to the point of being promoted in a fairly short time. This promotion not only means that he follows the rules well, but also shows that he has leadership that is recognized by his superiors. As a sergeant, he has a more active role in guiding other soldiers, including perhaps fellow celebrities who are also undergoing military service. There is a big possibility that he will become a respected figure in his unit, not because of his status as an idol, but because of his real hard work in the military. On the other hand, the fact that Taehyung has been promoted could raise another question among fans. Will the other BTS members experience the same thing? As we know, Jin, who entered the military earlier, also showed an extraordinary performance in the military. He even became a training commander and received a lot of praise from his seniors and colleagues. With Taehyung now following in his footsteps, Does this mean that BTS members do indeed have an extraordinary work ethic wherever they are, including in the military? And back to Jungkook. Although he has just started his journey in the military, many are curious whether he will also achieve the same achievements as his Hyungs. If we look at Jungkook's personality, he is the type of person who always wants to be the best in everything he does. From the world of music, sports, to daily activities, he always has the determination to do his best. It could be that he's still in the adjustment phase right now, but once he gets used to it, it's not impossible that he'll grow just as much as Taehyung or even more. But there's one thing to keep in mind. The paths each BTS member takes during their military service could be different. Taehyung and Jungkook are assigned to different units, which means their military experiences won't be exactly the same. Each unit has its own challenges, and each individual's approach to those challenges will be different. So, while Jungkook may not be moving up the ranks as quickly as Taehyung, that doesn't mean he's not growing. He could be showing off his skills in other, equally impressive ways. And what's even more interesting is that Taehyung's promotion also gives us a glimpse into what BTS will be like after they all return from their military service. Will Taehyung bring his leadership spirit to the group? Will Jungkook have a more mature outlook after going through military service? All of these are still open questions, but one thing's for sure, their military journey isn't just a break from the entertainment world. It's part of their growth as individuals and as a group. One thing that is undeniable is how these changes will affect BTS's dynamic after they return. Fans are certainly excited to see how their military experience will shape the new version of BTS. Will they return with a stronger spirit? Will there be changes in the way they interact with each other? And most importantly, how will this experience affect their music in the future? We know that BTS has always poured their life experiences into their music. From their early albums full of youthful spirit, to the more emotional and reflective songs in their latest era, there is always a story that they tell through their music. So, it is possible that their military experience will be a big inspiration for their future works. Will we hear a song inspired by their resilience in the military? Or maybe a song that tells the story of their friendship that remains strong despite being separated for several years? All of this is still a mystery, but one thing is for sure, their journey in the military is not the end for BTS. It is just a new chapter that will take them to the next level. So, for those of you who are still worried that military service will change BTS or make them lose their identity, maybe now is the time to look at this from a different perspective. In fact, with this experience, BTS can come back with a stronger, more mature version and more ready to face the world. And if you look at how Taehyung has proven himself in the military, we can be sure that the others will do the same in their own ways. However, what we need to realize is that Taehyung and Jungkook's journey in the military is not just about who gets promoted first or who is superior. This is not a competition, but rather a different adaptation process for each individual. Taehyung, who was promoted first, may now seem more established in his role as a sergeant, but that doesn't mean Jungkook's journey will be less meaningful. As the youngest member, Jungkook is used to being someone who learns a lot from his Hyungs. When they were still active as a group before enlistment, Jungkook often observed and absorbed experiences from the other members, including Taehyung. Maybe he is doing the same thing now. Maybe he is still in the early stages, but seeing Taehyung's development can be a great motivation for him. Imagine this situation. Jungkook, who was once known as the golden magne in the entertainment world, now has to start everything from zero in the military. He who usually appears confident on stage now has to undergo heavy training, follow orders, and face various physical and mental challenges that he cannot control himself. This is a new experience that is very different from his life as an idol. But if we look at Jungkook's character, who is always persistent and never satisfied with his achievements, it is likely that he will not remain silent. He is not the type to just accept the situation without trying. It could be that he is currently strategizing on how he can give his best in the military world, just like he has done so far in the entertainment industry. However, apart from the differences in their journeys in the military, there is one interesting thing to discuss: how the dynamics of the friendship between Taehyung and Jungkook developed during their military service. As we know, the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook has always been one of the most interesting for fans. They have a unique chemistry, sometimes like brothers who like to joke around with each other, but also have serious moments that show how strong their relationship is. Back when they were still together in BTS, they often shared stories and life experiences. Now that they are serving in different places, their communication is definitely not as intense as before. But does this mean their relationship has become more distant? Not really. In fact, experiences like this can strengthen their relationship. So, for those of you who are still curious, think about this. Will Taehyung, who has been promoted earlier, become Jungkook's mentor? Or will Jungkook find his own way to shine in the military? And when they return, what will the new BTS be like? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to continue supporting them on this journey.